You've been lied to about peace. They told you it comes from luxury beds, perfect routines, expensive teas, or the latest sleep gadgets. But if that were true, why do so many people with all of it still toss and turn at night? Why do you still feel heavy with thoughts, replaying old worries, unable to let go? The truth is, peace doesn't come from the outside. It grows within. And for thousands of years, Buddhist wisdom has carried the map teaching how to calm the mind, soften the heart, and rest in a way that heals not just the body but the soul. The Buddha, and generations of monks after him, unlocked secrets of clarity and rest that go far deeper than sleep hygiene tips. Lessons that free you from the grip of overthinking, that dissolve the fear of tomorrow, and that bring you to a place where night feels safe, soft, and sacred. Tonight, as you listen to these lessons, something will shift. Your racing thoughts will begin to slow. Your breath will grow lighter. Your chest will feel less tight. And as you drift into rest, you'll sense a peace you may not have felt in years, a peace that doesn't vanish with the morning alarm. When you wake, you'll notice it, a mind less cluttered, a heart more open, a body more alive. The world will feel clearer, gentler, and finally, under your control. This is not just another guide to better sleep. This is a transformation waiting to happen. Are you ready? Let's begin. The night has always been more than darkness. It is a mirror, showing back every thought you tried to ignore during the day. You know the feeling. The house is quiet. The world outside has slowed, yet your own mind refuses to rest. It clings to the mistakes, the conversations, the endless lists of what still needs to be done. This is where many lose peace, not because life is hard, but because they cannot let go when the day ends. Buddhist teachings offer a path out of this trap, a way of loosening the grip of thoughts so that rest becomes natural, not forced. To let go before sleep is not weakness, it is strength. It is the practice of releasing what you cannot carry into the night. Letting go is often misunderstood. People think it means not caring, giving up, or pretending nothing matters. In truth, it is the opposite. Letting go is caring in the right way, at the right time. It means you see clearly what belongs to this day and what does not. The Buddha taught that attachment creates suffering, and clinging to unfinished tasks or unspoken words only binds you tighter to the fire of restlessness. Before sleep, detachment is not about abandoning your responsibilities, but about recognizing that night has its own sacred purpose: to restore, to renew, to cleanse the mind. You do not need to solve everything before resting. You need to release the illusion that you can. One of the simplest practices is acknowledging the weight you carry. Instead of forcing yourself to push away worries, notice them as they arise. Thought of work? Acknowledge it. This belongs to tomorrow. Memory of an argument? See it for what it is. This is already past. Each acknowledgement is like loosening a knot. The knots are still there, but they no longer strangle your mind. Buddhist monks often use the phrase, "leave it on the cushion." It means that during meditation, whatever thoughts come up are placed down, not fought with, not judged, simply released. You can do the same at night. Leave it on the pillow. Letting go also has a physical dimension. The body stores the stress of the day in ways we barely notice. Shoulders pulled tight, jaw clenched, stomach unsettled. Detachment begins by noticing this silent holding. Lay down and pay attention to one area at a time. Relax your brow, soften your jaw, release the shoulders. This is not only relaxation, it is teaching the body that it no longer has to defend itself against the day. You are safe now, and safety is what allows sleep to come. Buddhist texts often speak of the body as a vehicle. When you release tension, you are not just relaxing, you are taking care of the very vessel that carries your consciousness through life. Another layer of letting go is tied to identity. You have a name, a role, responsibilities: parent, partner, worker, friend. These roles are necessary, but they are also heavy when carried into the night. The moment before sleep is your chance to set them aside. In Buddhist practice, there is the recognition that the self is not fixed. It shifts, it changes, it is not solid. Before sleep, remind yourself, you do not have to be the worker, the parent, the provider. You are simply awareness resting. In that moment, your true self is not defined by tasks or titles. This gentle release can feel like freedom, the kind of freedom children naturally know before sleep claims them. The art of letting go is also about trust. Many resist sleep because they feel they are losing control. They keep replaying scenarios as if, by thinking harder, they can prevent what may happen tomorrow. Yet Buddhist wisdom teaches impermanence. Nothing is fixed, nothing stays exactly as it is. Trusting this truth means accepting that no amount of clinging will freeze the world or solve tomorrow in advance. Rest is an act of faith, a surrender to impermanence. Each night, when you close your eyes, you are practicing the same letting go that death will one day require. In this way, sleep becomes a daily rehearsal for peace. It is natural to resist surrender. The modern mind is trained to achieve, to control, to always do more. But the mind also needs a balance between effort and release. Think of a bow held too tightly. It snaps. The Buddha called this balance the middle way, not too tight, not too loose. At night, letting go means loosening the strings. You have worked, you have tried, you have lived. Now you allow life itself to take over. The earth continues to spin, the moon continues to rise, and none of it requires your control. By letting go, you align with this greater rhythm. There are also practices that make this letting go easier. Writing down your thoughts before bed can act like emptying a cup. A journal becomes the safe container for everything unfinished, so your mind doesn't have to carry it. Once written, it is no longer floating in your head. Monks often use chanting for the same reason. The repetition of a mantra shifts the mind from scattered thoughts to a steady rhythm, creating space for silence to enter. You do not need to be in a monastery to practice this. A few words of kindness, a breath repeated with awareness, can have the same power. Letting go is not only for the restless mind, but also for the restless heart. Resentments, regrets, disappointments, they echo louder at night. Buddhist compassion practice offers a way through. Before sleep, silently offer forgiveness. To yourself, to others. It does not mean excusing harm, but it means choosing not to carry the poison into another day. Anger is heavy, forgiveness is light. The more you release, the more room there is for rest. Scientific studies support what Buddhists have known for centuries. Mental clutter disrupts sleep. Neuroscientists show that the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and analyzing, often stays overactive when we carry unresolved thoughts into bed. By practicing detachment, whether through breath, writing, or compassion, you allow this part of the brain to settle. The nervous system shifts from fight or flight into rest and digest, the state where true recovery begins. What science confirms, Buddhism has lived for generations. There is also a beauty in ritual. Monks close the day with specific chants or bows, signaling to the body and mind that the day is complete. You can create your own small ritual. It may be as simple as lighting a candle and blowing it out with the intention, "This day is done," or washing your face slowly, as if cleansing not only your skin, but also your mind. Rituals are reminders, guiding you from the noise of day into the quiet of night. Each act says, I release, I rest, I renew. The power of letting go before sleep lies in its consistency. One night may feel difficult, another may feel easy, but the practice is cumulative. Each evening you release a little more. The mind learns a new habit, to trust silence, to embrace rest. Over weeks and months, this habit reshapes not just your nights but your days. You wake with clarity, with steadiness, because the mind that learns to release at night becomes the mind that can release in daylight too. The habit of clinging loosens everywhere, not only in bed. There is also a spiritual dimension. Letting go is not simply practical, it is sacred. In the stillness before sleep, you are entering a state close to meditation. Thoughts dissolve, awareness softens, the self loosens. Many Buddhist masters describe sleep as a teacher, one that reminds us of impermanence, emptiness, and the illusion of control. To rest well is to live in alignment with these truths, not fighting them, but flowing with them. Night then becomes not just recovery but practice, a spiritual offering where you train in the deepest wisdom of letting go. Over time, you may notice something extraordinary. As you practice letting go before sleep, your dreams themselves change. They become lighter, less filled with conflict, sometimes even luminous. The subconscious, once filled with fear and repetition, begins to reflect the peace you cultivate. The boundary between waking and sleeping thins, and clarity begins to follow you through both. This is the hidden gift of Buddhist practice. Transformation does not end when the day does. It continues quietly in the night. What you are learning here is more than a sleep technique. It is a way of living. Detachment is not cold, it is compassionate. It allows you to face the world fully during the day because you know you can release it at night. It teaches you that peace is not about fixing every detail of life, but about knowing when to hold on and when to let go. Every evening becomes a training ground, a chance to free yourself, a chance to rest not just your body but your soul. And so, as this lesson closes, take this truth with you. The art of letting go before sleep is not a loss. It is a return to your natural state, where mind and heart are unburdened, where the night is not an enemy but a friend, where rest is not chased but welcomed. This is the first step on the journey to peaceful rest and a clear mind, and it is the foundation upon which all other lessons will build. When you learn to let go, the mind begins to settle, but letting go alone is not enough. The mind and body still need something steady, something to hold on to as they release their grip on the noise of the day. This is where the breath enters as a guide, quiet but powerful, leading you into the depth of rest. It asks for nothing. It has always been with you, and yet most of the time you barely notice it. The breath is the most loyal companion of your life, rising and falling without demand. And when you finally pay attention to it, you discover that it is the teacher you have been overlooking. The rhythm of breathing is the body's natural way of speaking to the mind. When you are anxious, the breath shortens, chest tightens, and the cycle of stress deepens. When you are calm, the breath slows, expands, and gently reassures every system within you. Buddhist practice treats the breath not as a background function, but as the bridge between body and mind, the meeting point where awareness can change the entire state of being. In the night, when the mind wants to run, the breath offers an anchor that does not pull you down but steadies you like roots of a tree. Paying attention to the breath is not about controlling it forcefully. The Buddha spoke of knowing the breath as it is. Long breaths are known as long, short breaths as short. This awareness, simple but profound, begins to retrain the nervous system. When you notice the breath without judgment, the body responds by releasing tension, and the nervous system shifts away from survival mode. It is not the length of the breath that matters, but the attention you give to it, the silent acknowledgement that you are here, that this moment is enough. Many people think of breathing as automatic, which it is. but what is overlooked is how much it reflects your inner state. The nervous system has two gears, one for action, one for rest. Most of the day is spent in action, even when you sit still, because the mind keeps you in alertness. By watching and gently guiding the breath at night, you invite the body into the opposite gear, the one meant for healing, repair, and deep rest. Science calls it the parasympathetic state. But in Buddhist practice, it is simply the state of being fully present, where the breath becomes a teacher of peace. There are practices that deepen this awareness. One is to feel the breath move in the nostrils, cool air entering, warm air leaving. Another is to rest your attention on the rise and fall of the belly, not forcing it but noticing its natural rhythm. This attention draws the mind away from scattered thoughts, bringing it back to something real, something living in the present. Every time the mind wanders, you return to the breath. Each return is not a failure but a victory. It is a reminder that peace is not found in forcing stillness, but in returning again and again to the quiet rhythm already within you. At night, this practice carries unique power. The darkness often makes the mind restless because it feels there is nothing to hold on to, but the breath is always there. Following it gives structure to the night without needing light, sound, or distraction. Slowly, you notice the body begin to relax on its own. The shoulders soften, the heartbeat steadies, the eyes grow heavy. It is not sleep you are chasing, it is trust in the breath. Sleep becomes a natural outcome, not the goal. The Buddha compared this to taming a wild animal, not through force but through patience and steady care. The breath also teaches impermanence. No two breaths are the same. Each one arises, exists for a moment, then passes. When you pay attention to this, you see life itself in miniature. Worries may feel heavy, but they too are like breaths arriving, passing, dissolving. By observing the breath, you train the mind to accept change, to stop clinging to what cannot last. This lesson, subtle yet powerful, allows you to meet the night without fear. You begin to trust that everything, even restlessness, will pass in its own time. There is a healing power in the way breath travels through the body. With each inhale, oxygen nourishes every cell. With each exhale, toxins and tension are released. This cycle is constant, effortless, and deeply cleansing. To become aware of it is to align yourself with the body's own wisdom. At night, this awareness becomes medicine, calming the heart, easing digestion, loosening the grip of stress. Monks often describe breathing as drinking from a hidden spring. It is always there, waiting to refresh you, but most never stop to taste it. In Buddhism, breath is also linked with mindfulness of the body. When you breathe with awareness, you are not separate from your body anymore. The mind, which usually floats in the past or future, returns to its home in the body. This union dissolves anxiety because anxiety lives in thoughts of tomorrow or regrets of yesterday. The breath lives only here, and by being with it, you too return to now. In the quiet of the night, this return is like stepping into a safe shelter after wandering in a storm. There are also deeper practices where the breath becomes not only a tool for calm, but a doorway to insight. When you follow the breath to its very end, you begin to notice the pauses between inhale and exhale. These pauses are moments of stillness, where the mind touches silence without effort. Rest is hidden in these pauses, a natural space that requires nothing from you. If you rest there, even for a second, you touch a peace that does not depend on circumstances. Sleep that follows this peace is not only restful, but transformative, as if the mind has drunk directly from the source of clarity. Breath awareness can also be combined with compassion. As you inhale, feel as if you are drawing in calmness, kindness, healing. As you exhale, release tension, anger, or fear. This simple shift transforms breathing into an act of care, a way of cleansing not only the body but the heart. At night, such practice softens the edges of harsh memories and makes space for gentle dreams. Compassion carried through the breath is subtle but lasting, and over time, it begins to reshape the way you experience rest and waking life alike. Modern science supports these teachings with clarity. Studies on slow breathing show that it lowers blood pressure, reduces stress hormones, and activates the body's healing systems. Yet what science calls relaxation, Buddhism calls awareness. The two meet in the same place, the quiet rhythm of the breath. By practicing it consistently, you reshape the nervous system itself, teaching it that rest is safe, that calmness is possible. The nervous system learns through repetition, and each night you spend with mindful breathing becomes another lesson written into your very biology. The power of the breath as a silent teacher is that it requires no special tools, no external rituals. It is already within you. You can practice it lying in bed, waiting for sleep, or when you wake in the night. You can return to it when thoughts overwhelm or when the heart feels heavy. The breath does not leave you. It is steady, loyal, patient. In every inhale and exhale, it whispers the same truth. Peace is here, if you are willing to notice it. Over weeks and months of practicing with the breath, you begin to notice shifts that go beyond sleep. The mind grows calmer during the day, less reactive, less pulled by sudden emotions. The heart grows steadier, more compassionate. The body recovers more fully, with greater energy in the morning. What started as a practice for sleep becomes a way of life, a daily reminder that peace does not come from control but from trust in what is already present. And so, when the day closes and the night comes, you do not need to fear the thoughts that arise. You have a teacher within you, silent but clear, steady but gentle. Each breath carries wisdom older than words, and when you follow it, you step into a rhythm that has been guiding life since the very beginning. Rest then is not forced, but received, and clarity is not chased, but revealed. The breath, unnoticed for so long, becomes the doorway to the peace you have been seeking. When the breath becomes your silent teacher, guiding the body into calm and the mind into clarity, a new lesson arises. It is not only about releasing or observing, it is about balance. Too much effort, and the mind grows tense. Too little effort, and it falls into dullness. Rest is not found at either extreme. The Buddha called this the middle way, and it applies not only to meditation or daily living, but also to the way we approach sleep. The night becomes a reflection of how you live, either pulled by overexertion or lost in laziness. True rest is found when these two are brought into harmony. Many people approach sleep as a task to be conquered. They push themselves into routines, track every minute with devices, and judge themselves harshly if they cannot fall asleep quickly. This effort creates more struggle than peace. Others fall into the opposite trap, allowing the body and mind to sink into careless habits, staying up late without purpose, scrolling endlessly, or using sleep as an escape. Both extremes steal clarity. The middle path shows that rest is not about control or neglect, but about conscious balance. Finding this balance begins with understanding rhythm. Nature itself follows rhythm. The sun rises and sets, tides flow in and out, seasons turn. When your nightly routine honors rhythm rather than fights it, rest follows naturally. Forcing the body to sleep before it is ready only builds resistance. Ignoring the body's signals of fatigue leaves you restless when the night is half gone. The middle way teaches you to listen closely, neither pushing nor avoiding, but responding with wisdom to the body's natural cycles. Balance also means holding discipline lightly. Discipline is needed to set boundaries, turning off lights at a certain time, limiting distractions, preparing the body for sleep. But discipline becomes a burden when it is rigid, when missing one step brings frustration. The middle way is consistency without harshness. If one night you stay awake longer, you do not punish yourself. You simply return the next night. This approach reduces anxiety around rest, turning it from a battlefield into a practice of kindness. The nervous system reflects this same principle. Too much activation keeps you alert, unable to rest. Too little activation sinks you into sluggishness, where the mind becomes cloudy. The breath can guide you toward the balanced state, but balance also comes from choices. What you eat, how you move, the way you spend your evening hours. Stimulants too close to night push the system toward agitation. Excess inactivity during the day creates dullness at night. A balanced day naturally supports a balanced night, showing that the middle way is not only a nightly practice but a daily alignment. Mental balance is equally essential. Overexertion appears as constant striving, reviewing tasks, worrying about outcomes, trying to control tomorrow. Laziness appears as avoidance, numbing the mind with distractions, refusing to reflect, running from discomfort. True balance comes when you allow reflection, but set it down at the right time. You acknowledge what was done and what remains, but accept that night is not the place for solutions, it is the place for renewal. This clarity of purpose frees the mind from both tension and apathy. There is wisdom in preparing the body with gentle effort. Stretching, light movement, or simple rituals signal that the day is closing. This effort is not strenuous, it is deliberate care. Yet it is balanced with surrender, the willingness to stop, to let go of action, to enter stillness. Without effort, surrender collapses into lethargy. Without surrender, effort collapses into striving. Together they form a rhythm, like inhaling and exhaling, each supporting the other, each incomplete without the other. The middle way of rest also applies to the way you relate to your environment. A space too rigidly arranged, obsessively controlled, creates pressure rather than calm. A space too chaotic, cluttered, or noisy prevents the mind from settling. Balance is creating a space that is simple, supportive, and alive with quiet intention. A bed made with care, lights softened, distractions reduced, enough order to invite peace, enough softness to avoid rigidity. Your environment becomes a mirror of the middle way, holding you gently in the balance of effort and ease. Emotionally, balance is found by meeting yourself honestly. Some people demand perfection of themselves at night, replaying every detail they could have done better. Others dismiss their own feelings, burying emotions until they leak into dreams. Balance is allowing emotions to be acknowledged, then offering them rest. You can recognize anger without feeding it, sadness without drowning in it, joy without clinging to it. The middle way is emotional honesty guided by compassion, neither suppressing nor indulging, but letting emotions pass through the heart like clouds across the sky. The teaching also extends into thought. Overthinking is one extreme, where the mind refuses to stop working. Numbness is the other, where the mind collapses into dull distraction. Balanced thought at night is gentle reflection, gratitude for what the day brought, awareness of impermanence, then silence. It is not about solving, but about witnessing. When you practice this, you train the mind to let go without falling asleep unconsciously. Rest becomes mindful, full of awareness, and yet free of tension. One of the most powerful aspects of balance is timing. Too much control of timing creates obsession, counting hours, measuring sleep cycles, stressing about wake-up times. Too little attention to timing creates chaos, where the body never knows when to rest. Balance is consistency with flexibility. You respect the body's natural signals, align your routines to support them, but accept that life shifts. This flexibility itself reduces stress, teaching the mind that peace does not depend on perfection. Spiritual balance also reveals itself here. Some treat night as wasted time, rushing to finish tasks, sleeping as little as possible. Others treat it as a void, a meaningless gap between days. Buddhist practice reveals night as sacred, a time for renewal of body and spirit. Sleep becomes service to life itself, preparing you to act with clarity and compassion when day returns. This view brings dignity to rest, a middle ground between dismissal and overemphasis. You rest not as indulgence, not as punishment, but as practice. Balance even shapes your dreams. A restless mind clings to effort, creating chaotic dreams. A dull mind sinks into heaviness, leaving dreams empty or forgotten. A balanced mind rests in clarity, where dreams may become gentle reflections, even teachers. Night, then, is not wasted or feared, but embraced as part of the path. Another arena where balance shapes peace. Practicing the middle way of rest is a lifelong journey. Some nights you lean toward effort, others toward laziness. What matters is noticing, correcting, returning to balance again and again. Just as a tightrope walker wobbles but continues, so too does the practice of rest. Each return is growth. Over time, the swings lessen and balance becomes natural. You no longer fight with rest or neglect it, you live it as part of the way. As the body and mind learn this balance, mornings change. You rise, not heavy, not tense, but clear. Energy flows steadily, instead of in bursts or collapses. The clarity of night carries into day, shaping the way you work, speak, and act. Balance at night teaches balance in life. And this is why the middle way is not just a philosophy, but a lived truth. It transforms the smallest acts, even lying down to rest, into steps along the path of wisdom. To carry this into your own life, notice the extremes. When you push too hard, soften. When you slip into neglect, rise with care. Build gentle rituals, but hold them lightly. Respect your body, but do not worship control. Allow emotions, but release their grip. See night not as enemy or escape, but as a sacred time for balance. Every evening is an opportunity to practice, every morning a reflection of how well you walked the middle path. The Buddha's teaching of balance was never about grand gestures. It was about the simple moments where wisdom meets daily life. Sleep is one of those moments. In the middle between effort and surrender, you find peace. In the middle between control and neglect, you find clarity. In the middle between striving and apathy, you find rest. This balance is the doorway to freedom, carried quietly into the night and revealed in the clear mind that greets the morning. Balance in rest teaches you how to walk the middle path between effort and surrender, but balance alone is not the end of the journey. What you carry into sleep has a direct impact on the quality of your dreams and, more importantly, the clarity of the mind that greets the morning. Thoughts are not harmless shadows. They are seeds. Whatever you feed the mind before bed is what blossoms in your inner world during the night. Buddhist teaching calls this karma not as punishment, but as the natural consequence of the patterns you cultivate. The karma of thought is especially powerful at night, when the conscious mind softens and the deeper layers of awareness take over. Every thought has weight. A harsh judgment, a regret, or a worry may feel small in the moment, but when repeated, it shapes the pathways of the brain and the tendencies of the heart. If you fall asleep replaying conflicts or anxieties, the subconscious continues the work, weaving them into restless dreams. When you wake, those impressions remain, leaving you heavy before the day even begins. In contrast, if you close the day with clarity, gratitude, or compassion, the mind receives those seeds, and they grow into dreams that restore rather than disturb. Sleep is not just the body's recovery, it is also the mind's mirror. Purifying thought before dreaming begins with awareness. Many people live as though their inner dialogue is background noise that cannot be changed. Yet Buddhism teaches that thoughts can be observed, understood, and transformed. The key is not to suppress them, but to see them clearly. Just as a gardener removes weeds not with anger but with care, you can tend the mind by noticing harmful thoughts before bed and gently replacing them with those that nourish peace. The final hour of the day is the most fertile soil for this work. One practical method is reflection. Before sleep, review the day with honesty. See where you acted with kindness, where you faltered, where you grew. This is not a judgment but a clearing. By acknowledging the truth of your actions, you prevent the mind from carrying hidden guilt or denial into the night. The Buddha encouraged daily reflection for monks and lay followers alike, not as punishment but as purification. What is faced directly dissolves its power. What is avoided festers. When you close the day with clear reflection, the mind rests lighter, unburdened by hidden weight. Equally important is the practice of directing the mind toward wholesome states. Thoughts of gratitude, compassion, or forgiveness are not trivial, they are medicine. Neuroscience shows that focusing on gratitude before bed lowers stress hormones and promotes deeper sleep. Buddhism has known this for centuries, teaching metta, or loving-kindness meditation, as a nightly practice. When you rest your mind on goodwill, the heart softens, and dreams often reflect harmony rather than conflict. Even if the day was harsh, ending it with kindness rewrites the story your subconscious carries into sleep. Purification also means letting go of thoughts that do not belong to you. Many carry the worries of others, family, friends, even strangers into their own rest. Compassion does not mean carrying every burden endlessly. Before sleep, release what is not yours to solve. A simple mental ritual can help. Breathe in compassion, breathe out release. You offer care, but do not tie yourself to the weight. This practice aligns with the Buddhist teaching of skillful compassion, help without attachment, love without bondage. Night then becomes a time of renewal rather than exhaustion from unending responsibility. The karma of thought also extends into intention. Before sleep, set a clear and gentle intention for how you wish to wake. It could be as simple as, "May I rise with clarity," or "May I bring peace to others tomorrow." Intention shapes the mind like a compass shapes direction. Even if you forget it while dreaming, the subconscious remembers. Research in psychology confirms that intention before sleep influences memory, creativity, and problem-solving. Buddhism frames this as the law of cause and effect. The seeds you plant in thought today bear fruit in your experience tomorrow. Dreams themselves can become part of purification. Instead of treating them as random, you can meet them with awareness. If you wake from a troubling dream, notice the emotion it left behind. Is it anger, fear, longing? See it as a reflection of the mind state, not as prophecy. Then, release it. Some Buddhist traditions encourage gentle contemplation of dreams as teachers of impermanence and illusion. Just as dreams dissolve upon waking, so too do worries dissolve when seen with clarity. By treating dreams as lessons, you transform even unsettling experiences into opportunities for insight. Purifying thought also involves the discipline of consumption. What you read, watch, or discuss before bed becomes food for the mind. Violence, gossip, or noise leave residues that surface in dreams. The Buddha emphasized guarding the senses, being mindful of what enters through eyes and ears. By choosing uplifting, calming, or truthful content before night, you feed the mind with nourishment rather than toxins. This is not about isolation, but about wisdom. Knowing that the quality of your rest depends on the quality of what you allow inside. Forgiveness is another crucial step in this purification. Resentment carried into the night poisons rest. Even if you cannot resolve a conflict outwardly, you can choose to release its grip inwardly. Before bed, offer a silent forgiveness, not necessarily to absolve others but to free yourself. This act purifies the heart, loosens knots of anger, and creates space for peaceful dreams. Over time, this practice changes not only your nights but your days, as the habit of forgiving becomes more natural, less conditional. There is also the need to purify thought toward yourself. Many people end the day with harsh self-criticism, replaying mistakes, calling themselves names, feeling inadequate. This is a form of mental violence. The karma of such thought is carried into dreams, often manifesting as nightmares or feelings of worthlessness upon waking. To counter this, practice gentle self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend. You tried, you learned, you are still worthy. This is not indulgence, it is medicine. The Buddha taught that self and other are not separate. Compassion given to yourself extends outward naturally. Rituals of purification can be subtle but powerful. Lighting incense, chanting softly, or even placing hands together in gratitude signals the mind that the day is complete and that only peace is welcome in the night. These actions anchor thought, steering it toward clarity. Neuroscience shows that ritual stabilizes the mind, creating predictability that reduces anxiety. In Buddhism, ritual is not superstition but skillful means, tools that guide the mind toward wholesome states. The effect of purifying thought before sleep is cumulative. One night of kindness may ease a dream, but months of practice reshape the entire landscape of your mind. The subconscious becomes less reactive, the heart more resilient, the mornings clearer. This is the karma of thought. Each effort compounds, each seed grows, until the mind itself becomes a field of peace rather than a battlefield of restlessness. To live this teaching is to take responsibility for your inner world. You cannot always control the events of the day, but you can choose what thoughts you feed as night approaches. You can choose honesty over denial, gratitude over resentment, compassion over anger. These choices ripple into the night, shaping not only your rest but the quality of your waking life. The mind purified before dreaming is the mind that wakes free. And so, as the day ends, treat your thoughts as sacred offerings. Let go of what is harmful, cultivate what is wholesome, set intentions that align with peace. This is not ritual for ritual's sake. It is the practice of shaping your inner world with care. The karma of thought is always at work, whether you notice it or not. By purifying it before sleep, you take the first step toward dreams that heal, mornings that uplift, and a life that reflects clarity in every moment. When the mind is purified before dreaming, the ground is prepared for peace. Yet there is something more powerful that deepens rest and transforms the night into healing. That power is compassion, not the fleeting kindness that comes and goes when convenient, but the steady warmth of loving kindness that Buddhists call metta. It is more than a feeling, it is an inner posture, a way of holding yourself and others with gentle care. When compassion becomes the state you enter before sleep, rest changes its nature. The heart loosens, the breath steadies, and even dreams soften into teachers of healing rather than vessels of fear. Compassion as a sleep aid works because the nervous system responds to the emotions you cultivate. Anger or resentment tightens the body, keeps the heartbeat fast, and creates tension in the muscles that prevents deep rest. Compassion signals safety. It tells the body it no longer needs to guard itself. Studies in neuroscience reveal that practicing loving kindness lowers blood pressure, reduces stress hormones, and increases activity in areas of the brain linked with emotional regulation. The Buddha did not frame it in scientific terms, but he understood the same truth. The state of the heart shapes the quality of rest. Cultivating compassion before bed can begin with yourself. Many people carry the day's mistakes as heavy stones. They replay words they regret, tasks left undone, or opportunities missed. This constant self-criticism is like drinking poison before lying down. To counter this, you practice speaking to yourself with kindness. You remind yourself, "I did what I could today. I will continue tomorrow. I am worthy of rest." Such simple phrases transform the mental climate. Instead of falling asleep in self-judgment, you rest in acceptance. This self-directed compassion does not make you weak. It makes you resilient, because only a rested heart can carry responsibility wisely. Compassion extends naturally to others. Before bed, bring to mind someone you love easily. Let your heart rest on the feeling of warmth for them, wishing them safety and peace. Then, slowly, extend this to others in widening circles. Friends, strangers, even those with whom you struggle. The practice is not about forcing affection, but about softening resistance. Metta is the steady willingness to wish well-being, even if forgiveness is not complete. This practice reshapes dreams. Instead of conflict replayed in sleep, the mind begins to weave images of connection, reconciliation, or gentle release. Night becomes a place where the heart learns what it cannot yet do fully in waking life. Compassion also brings safety to the subconscious. Fear is often the source of restless nights, whether fear of failure, of loss, or of the unknown. Metta transforms fear not by denying it, but by surrounding it with care. Just as a child settles when held, the mind settles when wrapped in compassion. You can practice this by breathing in gently and silently, saying, "May I be safe." Breathing out, "May others be safe." The repetition builds a rhythm of care that quiets the nervous system. Over time, this rhythm carries into sleep itself, shaping not only dreams but also the state in which you wake. There is also a healing quality to compassion. When you wish well-being to yourself and others, the body responds with openness. Muscles release, digestion improves, and the immune system strengthens. Rest under these conditions becomes not only longer, but deeper. The Buddha taught that a person who practices metta sleeps easily, wakes easily, and dreams no evil dreams. This is not poetry, it is practical truth. Compassion lightens the burdens you carry, allowing the body's natural healing processes to unfold. Compassion also changes how you view the struggles of the day. Instead of ending the night in bitterness, you see difficulties as part of the human condition. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone suffers, everyone longs for peace. This understanding dissolves isolation. When you rest with compassion, you rest with the knowledge that you are not alone in your struggles. This perspective itself eases the heart. It turns loneliness into connection, resentment into understanding, and fear into shared humanity. Sleep then becomes not escape, but communion with life. There are practical ways to weave compassion into nightly routines. You may sit for a few minutes in silence, repeating phrases such as, "May all beings be happy," "May all beings be safe," "May all beings rest in peace." You may write a short note of gratitude or kindness, either to yourself or someone else, closing the day with words of care. You may simply place a hand over the heart before lying down, feeling warmth spread through the chest and allowing that warmth to soften the edges of the day. Each act is small, but its effect accumulates. Over time, the body and mind begin to associate night not with struggle but with kindness. Compassion also changes the way you wake. A night shaped by anger often brings mornings filled with heaviness. A night shaped by compassion brings mornings of clarity, where energy feels lighter and the mind feels open. This is the hidden power of metta. It is not confined to the hours of sleep. It seeps into waking life, shaping how you greet others, how you respond to challenges, how you carry yourself through the day. Compassion practiced at night becomes compassion lived in daylight. Another layer of compassion as a sleep aid is how it interacts with forgiveness. Dreams often reveal unresolved tensions, faces of those we fought with, situations left incomplete. By practicing compassion before bed, you loosen the grip of these unresolved conflicts. You may not solve them outwardly, but inwardly you stop feeding the fire. This reduces the emotional residue that feeds restless sleep. Forgiveness through compassion is not forgetting, but it is choosing to rest without chains. The practice also softens the fear of impermanence. Night is a small rehearsal of death, a letting go of control, a surrender to the unknown. Many resist it unconsciously, fearing loss of awareness. Compassion eases this surrender. When you cultivate kindness for yourself and others, the unknown feels less threatening. It becomes another opportunity to rest in care. This perspective transforms sleep into a spiritual practice, not just a physical necessity. Compassion also protects against the isolation of suffering. In modern life, many carry silent pain, loneliness, grief, anxiety without sharing it. At night, this pain often surfaces. Metta meets it with tenderness. By wishing well for yourself, you remind the heart it is not abandoned. By extending wishes outward, you remind yourself that countless others are also suffering. And in wishing them peace, you connect across distance. This dissolves the illusion of separation. Rest becomes not only personal but collective, a small act of healing for the whole. Science echoes this truth. Studies show that compassion practices increase oxytocin, the hormone linked to bonding and safety. They reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that keeps the body alert. They improve heart rate variability, a marker of resilience. These biological shifts confirm what Buddhism has taught. Compassion is not only noble but practical. It rewires the nervous system, making deep rest possible. The transformative power of compassion at night is that it changes the story you tell yourself. Without it, the story is often one of failure, resentment, or fear. With it, the story becomes one of care, forgiveness, and connection. Dreams follow the story you tell, and mornings inherit the mood of those dreams. By practicing compassion, you write a different script, one that heals rather than harms. To live this practice, begin where it is easiest. Start with kindness toward yourself, then extend it to someone you love. Gradually, widen the circle. Over time, even difficult people may enter this circle, not because you excuse harm, but because you refuse to let harm poison your rest. Compassion is not weakness, it is strength. It allows you to sleep without enemies, even if conflicts remain unresolved. It allows you to rest without self-hatred, even if mistakes remain. It allows you to dream without fear, even if challenges remain. Compassion as a sleep aid is not about escaping life, but about preparing to meet it with clarity. The Buddha's words remain true. One who practices metta sleeps easily, wakes easily, and dreams no evil dreams. To practice it nightly is to cultivate a mind that rests in peace, a heart that heals in dreams, and a life that reflects kindness at every dawn. Compassion opens the heart and softens the night, but even compassion requires something deeper, the willingness to surrender. Many resist the coming of darkness because it feels like losing control. The mind clings to light, activity, and certainty, while night reminds us of stillness, silence, and the unknown. This resistance is why so many cannot rest fully, even when the body is tired. Buddhist teachings on impermanence offer a way to meet darkness not with fear but with acceptance. When you surrender to the night, you are not defeated, you are aligned with truth. Darkness is not absence but part of the rhythm of life. And learning to embrace it mindfully transforms rest into a spiritual practice. Fear of darkness has ancient roots. Long before electricity, humans associated night with danger, predators, and vulnerability. Though modern life has removed much of that physical danger, the nervous system still reacts. Darkness triggers the mind to be alert, to seek control, to resist surrender. Buddhism teaches that fear arises from clinging to safety, to light, to certainty. By releasing this attachment, you meet night as it is, without demand. Accepting impermanence means recognizing that day gives way to night just as life gives way to death, and both are natural, unavoidable parts of existence. To resist this truth is to exhaust yourself. To surrender is to rest. Mindful surrender begins with reframing darkness. Instead of treating it as emptiness, treat it as fertile ground. Seeds grow in the dark soil, the body heals in the quiet of night, and the mind restores itself in silence. Darkness is not void, but womb, holding the possibility of renewal. The Buddha compared the night of ignorance to the darkness before dawn, temporary, necessary, and followed by light. When you view darkness through this lens, fear loosens its hold. You no longer struggle against it but rest within it, trusting that it is part of life's rhythm. Practical surrender involves releasing the need to control outcomes before bed. Many lie awake because they try to force rest, demanding sleep on command. This effort only sharpens wakefulness. Mindful surrender shifts the goal. Instead of chasing sleep, you open to rest. You let the body lie still, the mind soften, and trust that sleep will come when it is ready. This shift removes pressure, reducing anxiety that feeds insomnia. Surrender is not failure. It is wisdom, the recognition that some things cannot be forced. The same way we cannot stop the sun from setting, we cannot demand sleep, but we can allow it to arrive. Darkness also mirrors impermanence. Each night is a small death, the closing of one day, the loss of one set of experiences, the dissolution of one set of thoughts. To surrender to this process is to practice acceptance of the greater impermanence of life. The Buddha encouraged contemplation of death not as morbidity, but as liberation. When you face the inevitability of endings, you stop clinging and begin living with greater clarity. Night is an invitation to practice this, letting go daily. To lie down in darkness and accept its stillness is to rehearse the art of release. This practice reduces fear not only of sleep but of life's greatest uncertainties. Mindful surrender is supported by ritual. When you dim lights, put aside distractions, and enter a quieter rhythm, you are signaling both mind and body that the day is complete. Ritual does not erase fear, but it provides a bridge into surrender. Simple acts: closing a book, placing hands together in gratitude, taking 3 conscious breaths, create markers that guide you into darkness with intention. This guidance reduces the feeling of being pulled unwillingly into night. Instead, you step into it as a chosen act of alignment. Surrender also means meeting silence without escape. Many fill the night with noise, television, music, endless scrolling because silence feels uncomfortable. Yet silence is where the mind releases its grip. Buddhism teaches that silence is not absence but presence. It is the space where awareness reveals itself. When you sit with silence at night, without distraction, you discover that it is not threatening but nourishing. The mind may resist at first, throwing up restless thoughts, but with patience, silence becomes the very ground of peace. To surrender to silence is to allow the mind to return home. Another dimension of surrender is trust. Trust that your body knows how to heal when you let it rest. Trust that your breath continues without your control. Trust that night always gives way to morning. Without trust, the mind clings and resists, unable to release into rest. With trust, surrender becomes natural. This trust is not blind, it is born from observing impermanence. Every night has ended with dawn, every breath has given way to the next, every challenge has shifted in time. By seeing this truth, trust grows and fear diminishes. Mindful surrender also involves meeting the unknown with openness. Darkness hides what is familiar, creating unease. But Buddhism teaches that the unknown is not enemy, it is life itself. Every moment of tomorrow is unknown, every breath beyond this one uncertain. By resisting the unknown, you create suffering. By opening to it, you discover freedom. Night is practice in this opening. Each time you close your eyes and surrender to what you cannot see, you train the mind to meet uncertainty with calm rather than fear. There is wisdom in allowing the mind to soften its grip on identity in darkness. During the day, you wear roles: worker, parent, friend, decision-maker. At night, those roles dissolve. You are no longer defined by tasks or responsibilities. Many resist this dissolution, clinging to identity even in bed, reviewing what they must be tomorrow. Surrender means releasing roles and resting in being itself. You are not your job, your duties, or your failures. You are simply awareness resting in darkness. This release brings profound rest, because the heaviest weight we carry is often the sense of who we must be. The practice of mindful surrender also heals the body. Tension is the physical form of resistance: tight shoulders, clenched jaw, restless legs. When you surrender, you give the body permission to let go. Breathing into tense areas, softening muscles with awareness, and consciously releasing physical resistance allows the nervous system to drop into deeper states of repair. Healing happens most fully when the body is not fighting itself. This surrender is not passive, it is an active choice to stop resisting what is. Spiritual traditions often describe darkness as a teacher. In Buddhism, darkness represents ignorance, but it is also the condition from which awakening arises. Without darkness, light cannot be recognized. Surrendering to night with mindfulness allows you to see it not as an obstacle but as part of the path. Dreams themselves become teachers, revealing attachments, fears, and desires that you may not face during the day. To enter darkness willingly is to enter the classroom of the subconscious, where lessons unfold without your control but with great potential for growth. Over time, practicing mindful surrender transforms your relationship with fear. Instead of fighting the night, you see it as a friend. Instead of dreading sleep, you welcome it as a teacher of impermanence. This shift carries into waking life. You begin to meet uncertainty during the day with the same openness. Challenges feel less overwhelming because you have trained in the art of letting go. Surrender at night becomes resilience in life. The effect is cumulative. Each night you practice, the nervous system learns that darkness is safe. Each act of letting go strengthens the mind's trust in impermanence. Each surrender brings deeper rest and clearer mornings. Slowly, the fear of night dissolves, replaced by reverence. You no longer resist darkness but honor it as part of the cycle that sustains life. This reverence itself brings peace, because fear cannot survive in the presence of respect. To live this teaching is to embrace the truth that nothing is permanent. Day fades, night rises, thoughts dissolve, identities shift, bodies age, life itself passes. To resist this truth is to suffer endlessly. To surrender is to find freedom. Night offers the perfect stage for this practice, because it demands surrender whether you choose it or not. By making the choice willingly, you align with reality rather than fighting it. As you lie down tonight, let the darkness be more than absence of light. Let it be a reminder of impermanence, a teacher of surrender, a space where rest arises naturally when resistance ends. Breathe into it, trust it, rest within it. This is mindful surrender, not escape, not defeat, but peace found in the heart of impermanence itself. When you learn to surrender to darkness without fear, another layer of practice begins to unfold. The stillness of night does not only bring rest, it brings visions, stories, and symbols that rise from the depths of the mind. Dreams, though fleeting and often strange, carry a wisdom of their own. From a Buddhist perspective, they are not random, they are teachers that reveal the nature of emptiness, the truth that nothing is fixed, not even the self you cling to so tightly. To meet dreams with awareness is to discover that what feels solid in waking life is just as fluid as the shifting images of sleep. Dreams show you how unstable identity really is. One moment you are yourself, the next you are someone else, or both at once. You may face familiar people who suddenly transform into strangers, or landscapes that shift in an instant without reason. In the dream, you accept these changes without question, moving with them as if they were natural. When you reflect on this upon waking, the lesson becomes clear. The mind can create entire worlds, complete with rules, emotions, and identities, yet none of it has lasting substance. This is what Buddhism means by emptiness. Not that nothing exists, but that nothing has a permanent, unchanging essence. Seeing this in dreams weakens the grip of attachment in waking life. Some Buddhist traditions, especially in Tibet, developed dream yoga, where practitioners learn to recognize the dream state as it happens. The goal is not entertainment, but liberation. By realizing during the dream that it is only a dream, the mind experiences freedom from illusion directly. Even without formal dream yoga, simply reflecting on dreams in the morning reveals attachments and fears. If you dream of losing possessions, perhaps you cling too tightly to security. If you dream of being abandoned, perhaps you crave approval. If you dream of endless running, perhaps you resist stillness. Each dream becomes a mirror of the attachments that shape your waking mind. To purify the way you relate to dreams, begin by setting intention before sleep. Tell yourself gently, "Tonight may I see my dreams clearly." This intention plants a seed. Over time, you start remembering more of your dreams, and you carry a subtle awareness that even while dreaming, you are not completely lost. This practice teaches you to meet illusions with mindfulness. When the mind can see through illusions in sleep, it strengthens the ability to see through illusions in daily life. Illusions of control, permanence, and fixed identity. Writing dreams upon waking is another powerful method. By keeping a record, patterns emerge. You notice recurring themes, symbols, or emotions that show where the mind is most attached. A repeated dream of failing an exam long after school has ended may reveal a lingering fear of judgment. A recurring dream of being chased may uncover resistance to facing difficult truths. These insights are not trivial. They show you where clinging hides. Buddhism teaches that suffering comes from attachment, and dreams offer a nightly map of where attachment lives in your subconscious. Even nightmares serve as teachers. They may shake you, but they reveal fears you have not yet faced in waking life. Meeting them with compassion transforms them into opportunities. Instead of pushing them away, reflect, what is this fear pointing to? What illusion is it exposing? Nightmares are reminders that fear itself is an illusion sustained by clinging. By holding even the characters of your nightmare with compassion, silently wishing them peace, you dissolve their power. Over time, this practice turns even frightening dreams into pathways of growth. Dreams also highlight impermanence in a way waking life often hides. In dreams, entire worlds appear, exist, and vanish within seconds. When you wake, they dissolve completely, leaving no trace but memory. This cycle is a clear reflection of impermanence, the same truth that governs life itself. Relationships, possessions, and even identities arise and fade in the same way dreams do. By reflecting on this, the mind learns not to grasp so tightly. Sleep becomes a nightly teaching of the Dharma, showing in direct experience what texts can only describe. Another teaching dreams offer is the emptiness of I. In dreams, the sense of self shifts constantly. Sometimes you see the world through your own eyes, sometimes you observe yourself from outside, sometimes you become someone else entirely. This instability reveals that the self is not fixed, but constructed moment by moment. Waking life feels more stable, but Buddhism teaches it is no different. What you call I is a collection of sensations, thoughts, and roles, none of which remain the same. Dreams expose this truth directly, loosening the illusion of a permanent self. By learning from dreams, you also practice humility. No matter how much control you think you have, dreams remind you that the mind is vast, often beyond conscious direction. They reveal layers of memory, fear, and desire you did not choose but still live within you. Instead of resisting this, Buddhist practice encourages you to observe with curiosity and compassion. Humility arises when you see that you are not the master of every thought, and peace arises when you stop demanding control over them. To deepen this practice, you can also use mantras before sleep. Repeating sacred syllables or phrases calms the mind and sets a clear tone for the night. These vibrations echo into dreams, creating an atmosphere of clarity. Practitioners have long reported that chanting before bed changes the quality of dreams, making them lighter, more meaningful, and sometimes even lucid. This is not superstition, but the natural effect of directing the mind with intention. What you plant in thought shapes what you reap in dreams. Dream practice also prepares you for greater transitions. Tibetan teachings often compare dreams to the bardo, the state between death and rebirth. Just as in dreams, the mind creates entire realities after death. By training to see dreams as illusions, practitioners prepare to meet death with clarity, recognizing even then that appearances lack inherent solidity. For those not following monastic paths, the lesson still applies. Every night, in sleep, you practice letting go, and every dream teaches you how to meet illusions without fear. There is also a creative aspect. Dreams, once seen clearly, can inspire solutions, insights, and understanding. History holds examples of artists, scientists, and thinkers who found breakthroughs in dreams. From a Buddhist view, this creativity is not magic but the natural expression of a mind freed from its usual constraints. When you meet dreams without clinging, their imagery can become a source of inspiration rather than confusion. Even here, the teaching of emptiness is clear. Nothing is fixed, everything can transform, even fear into creativity. The ultimate lesson dreams offer is that reality itself is not as solid as it appears. Just as you wake from a dream and see it for what it was, Buddhism teaches that awakening from ignorance reveals waking life as another dream, not unreal, but empty of permanence, empty of fixed essence. Dreams are nightly reminders of this truth. When you treat them as teachers, you are constantly being shown the nature of emptiness over and over again, until the lesson becomes part of your very way of seeing. To live this teaching means meeting each night with openness. Set intention, observe with curiosity, reflect without clinging, and meet even nightmares with compassion. Over time, dreams cease to be random or frightening. They become allies, showing you illusions, pointing out attachments, teaching you impermanence, and reminding you of the emptiness of self. Night then becomes not only a time for rest, but a time for awakening, where even in sleep, the Dharma is alive, guiding you toward freedom. Dreams reveal emptiness and show how fragile and shifting the mind's creations can be. But even after learning from them, the heart still seeks something deeper: stillness itself. Beyond images, beyond stories, beyond even thoughts, there is silence. In Buddhist practice, silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of peace. It is called noble silence because it carries dignity, clarity, and truth. At night, when the world finally begins to quiet, you are offered the rare chance to meet this silence. Yet many resist it, filling the evening with endless noise, as though silence itself were frightening. To embrace silence is to allow peace the space to arise. Silence at night is not simply turning off the television or closing the door. It begins within. Internal silence means softening the endless commentary of the mind, the constant chatter of judgment, memory, and worry. You do not silence the mind by force, but by creating space. Breath awareness, gentle reflection, and compassion all clear the way. Slowly, the noise grows lighter, and silence emerges like a clear sky after a storm. This inner quiet is what allows the body to release its final layers of tension, dropping into rest without resistance. External silence supports internal silence. The Buddha often encouraged retreat into quiet places, forests, caves, simple dwellings, because environment shapes mind. In your own life, creating silence at night can be as simple as dimming lights, turning off devices, and allowing the room to settle. This is not deprivation, it is nourishment. Noise keeps the nervous system alert, while silence signals safety. The absence of external sound becomes an invitation for inner quiet to grow. The power of noble silence lies in its ability to reveal what is usually hidden. When noise falls away, you notice subtler things: the texture of your breath, the tone of your emotions, the rhythm of your thoughts. Silence is a mirror. It reflects the true state of your mind. Sometimes it shows restlessness, sometimes sadness, sometimes calm. Whatever it shows, it is valuable, because it brings honesty. By seeing clearly, you can meet yourself with understanding. Without silence, the deeper layers remain buried beneath distraction. Silence also heals relationships with others. Many conflicts arise because people fear silence in conversation, rushing to fill gaps with words that are often unnecessary. At night, when you practice noble silence, you learn that silence itself can be a form of communication, a presence that says, "I am here, I am at peace. I do not need to demand or resist." This understanding softens your interactions in waking life. The practice of nightly silence becomes a practice of deeper listening during the day. In meditation, noble silence is a discipline, a way of training the mind to settle without clinging to words. Applied at night, it turns rest into a continuation of meditation. The body lies down, the voice quiets, the mind releases. This silence is not empty, it is full of presence. It is alive with awareness, even when no thought or word moves. Entering sleep from this silence brings a depth of rest that ordinary routines cannot reach. The mind does not carry the residue of noise into dreams, but instead drifts into clarity. Silence also teaches impermanence. In the absence of noise, you notice that even silence shifts. It is filled with subtle sounds, the hum of breath, the distant rhythm of life outside, the faint movements of your own body. Silence is not a static void, but a dynamic presence. By observing it, you realize that peace is not fixed but living, always changing yet always here. This awareness makes peace more accessible, because you no longer demand perfection. You rest in silence as it is, allowing it to hold you without expectation. Fear of silence often comes from fear of facing oneself. Many avoid quiet because they fear what they will find: loneliness, regret, unresolved feelings. But silence is not an enemy. When you meet these emotions in silence, you discover they are not as solid as you feared. They arise, move through, and dissolve. Noble silence gives them space to pass without being suppressed. This is why it is noble. It allows truth to surface without interference, and in that truth, healing begins. The body, too, responds to silence. Noise keeps the senses sharp, even when you think you are used to it. Studies show that background noise raises stress levels and disrupts sleep cycles. Silence lowers blood pressure, steadies the heart, and allows the nervous system to reset. This is why monks and practitioners often retreat into silence for days or weeks. It is medicine. You may not need weeks, but a few minutes of intentional silence before sleep can begin the same process of healing. Another dimension of noble silence is humility. Words often carry ego, the need to explain, to justify, to prove. Silence removes this mask. In silence, you are not your titles, your arguments, your roles. You are simply presence. This humility softens the grip of self and creates space for connection with something greater. At night, when you rest in silence, you practice laying down the ego, making sleep not just physical renewal but spiritual release. Silence also holds beauty. Without constant distraction, the simplest sounds become profound: the steady breath, the whisper of wind, the quiet rhythm of life. These details, often ignored, remind you of the richness of existence. Noble silence turns the ordinary into sacred. Night becomes not just the absence of day, but a canvas of subtle presence. To rest in that beauty is to rest in gratitude. Embracing silence is also preparation for death. In Buddhist teaching, the final moments of life are like a great silence. The body drops away, words disappear, the mind meets itself directly. Practicing noble silence at night is rehearsal for this transition. It trains the mind to be comfortable without noise, without distraction, without constant identity. This training reduces fear of endings and brings peace in the face of impermanence. The practice of silence can begin simply. After your evening activities, turn off external sounds and sit for a few breaths in stillness. Allow the mind to settle without needing words. When thoughts arise, do not follow them. Let them pass. Rest in the space between. Carry this silence into lying down, letting the body release without commentary. Over time, this practice becomes natural, and silence itself becomes a source of comfort rather than discomfort. The gift of noble silence is that it creates space for rest, for truth, for healing. It is not a void but a doorway, leading you to the peace that has always been present beneath the noise. When you embrace silence at night, you discover that you do not need constant distraction to feel safe. Peace is already here, waiting in the quiet. By stepping into noble silence, you open the space for true rest, where body, mind, and heart are all held gently in stillness. Silence at night opens the door to a rare kind of peace, but the journey does not end there. Once the heart learns to rest in quiet, a deeper question arises. What is the purpose of this rest? In Buddhist thought, nothing is practiced only for oneself. Every breath, every act of care, every moment of stillness ripples outward to touch others. Rest, when understood in this way, becomes more than personal recovery, it becomes service. This is the essence of bodhisattva rest, sleeping not only to heal your body and mind, but to prepare yourself to meet the world with clarity, kindness, and strength. The bodhisattva path is built on compassion, the vow to dedicate one's life to reducing the suffering of all beings. Yet this vow is not fulfilled by exhaustion or self-neglect. Service without renewal quickly collapses into burnout, resentment, and fragility. To rest as a bodhisattva is to recognize that sleep itself is an offering. By allowing your body and mind to recover, you are preserving the energy needed to act wisely and compassionately when others call upon you. In this way, lying down becomes an act of generosity, not selfishness. Rest as service requires a shift in perspective. Many people treat sleep as wasted time, a necessary pause in productivity. From the Bodhisattva view, rest is sacred preparation. Just as monks treat meals as fuel for practice, rest is the fuel for compassion. When you rise from sleep with clarity, your words are more patient, your actions more skillful, your presence more healing. Every person you encounter benefits from the rest you allowed yourself the night before. This understanding removes guilt from sleep and restores its dignity as part of the path. This perspective also transforms how you approach the act of lying down. Instead of collapsing into bed with exhaustion or resentment, you can frame it as an offering. I rest tonight so that I may meet tomorrow with compassion. This intention softens the heart, reduces restlessness, and aligns the mind with service. It is a way of dedicating even the unconscious hours of sleep to the benefit of others. Just as prayers or chants can be offered, so too can sleep itself. Bodhisattva rest also involves caring for the conditions that support renewal. A body deprived of rest cannot serve effectively, and a mind clouded by fatigue cannot bring wisdom. Caring for your sleep environment, respecting the rhythm of night, and maintaining practices that ease the heart are not indulgences, they are responsibilities. Just as you would sharpen a tool before using it, you care for your own capacity through rest, so that your service is skillful rather than clumsy. This teaching also addresses the modern habit of glorifying exhaustion. Many wear tiredness as a badge of honor, proof of hard work or dedication. From the Bodhisattva perspective, exhaustion is not virtue, it is imbalance. A tired body is more prone to anger, a restless mind more likely to cause harm. True dedication is shown in sustainability, serving in ways that can be continued for a lifetime, not just in bursts of unsustainable effort. Rest, therefore, is not withdrawal but part of the discipline of compassion. There is also an element of humility in resting for others. It acknowledges that you are not limitless. Even the Buddha, after long nights of meditation, lay down to rest. Monks, in their discipline, schedule periods of sleep as part of practice. This humility is itself a teaching. You do not serve the world by pretending to be beyond human needs. You serve by honoring those needs wisely, allowing them to support rather than hinder the path. Dreams, too, take on a new meaning in this light. When rest is framed as service, even the subconscious becomes part of practice. Dreams may reveal attachments, fears, or insights that shape how you serve others. Meeting them with awareness is another form of preparation. Night is no longer passive. It is an active part of the Bodhisattva's journey, where lessons emerge that guide the daylight hours. Rest as service also teaches interdependence. When you rest well, you affect not only yourself but everyone around you. A rested parent shows more patience to their children. A rested worker contributes more clearly to colleagues. A rested leader makes wiser decisions. In this way, the benefit of your sleep spreads far beyond your own well-being. It becomes part of the web of care that sustains communities. To neglect rest is to weaken this web. To honor rest is to strengthen it. The practice extends to how you release guilt about sleep. Many feel they are taking from others when they rest, as if every moment of stillness is stolen from service. The Bodhisattva view reverses this. Every moment of true rest is a gift to others, because it renews the capacity to serve. This shift allows you to meet rest with gratitude rather than shame. Gratitude itself deepens the quality of rest, turning it from escape into offering. There is also a symbolic dimension. In Buddhist teachings, sleep is sometimes described as a small death, a letting go of control, a surrender into the unknown. To approach sleep with bodhisattva intention is to dedicate even this small death to the welfare of others. It is a practice of generosity that transcends waking life, a reminder that every state of being waking, dreaming, or resting can be directed toward compassion. This practice naturally transforms mornings. When you rise, you do not see the day as a burden, but as another chance to serve. The freshness of rest becomes the energy of compassion. Even small acts, listening, offering kindness, working diligently, are infused with the strength that comes from honoring rest as service. Each day begins with the ripple effect of the night before, showing that rest is not separate from action but the root of it. Rest as service also connects with the teaching of non-self. The idea that you rest only for yourself is an illusion. In truth, your actions, moods, and energy affect countless others. By resting, you are indirectly serving them. This dissolves the boundary between self-care and service, showing that both are expressions of the same compassion. In caring for yourself wisely, you care for the world. In caring for the world, you naturally sustain yourself. The two are not separate, but interwoven. Even small, nightly rituals can embody this truth. Offering a thought of goodwill to others before closing your eyes, dedicating your rest to those who suffer, or simply placing gratitude in the heart, these shift sleep from private escape to shared offering. They remind you that rest is not wasted time but part of the vow to live for others. Bodhisattva rest is not about perfection. There will be nights of restlessness, times when fatigue still lingers. The practice is not measured by flawless sleep but by intention. Each time you approach rest with the mindset of service, you strengthen the habit. Over time, this habit shapes your entire relationship with sleep. You no longer see it as a weakness or obligation, but as part of the great work of compassion. In this way, rest becomes sacred. Lying down is no longer the end of the day but the continuation of practice. Sleep becomes part of the bodhisattva vow, a hidden act of service, unseen by others but deeply felt in its effects. And when you rise, the world feels the difference not because you announce it, but because your clarity, patience, and compassion flow more freely. To live this teaching fully is to see rest as an offering in every sense, to the body, to the mind, to those you love, and to all beings who will cross your path. Each night is a chance to renew this offering. Each morning is the fruit of that gift. Rest then becomes not an interruption of service, but one of its most essential forms. Through bodhisattva rest, even sleep becomes part of the path to liberation, not only for yourself, but for the benefit of all. When rest is seen as service, every moment of sleep becomes part of a larger offering, yet intention alone is not enough. The quality of rest also depends on the condition of the mind as you lie down. The body may collapse into bed, but if the mind is restless, heavy, or scattered, the night will not nourish you fully. Buddhist practice teaches that posture in meditation is not just about the body, it is about the inner state. Even while lying down, you can carry the same principles that guide seated practice. This is what it means to hold the lotus posture of the mind in bed, cultivating balance, stability, and openness within, so that rest is not just physical but deeply mindful. The lotus posture in meditation represents more than folded legs. It is the symbol of equilibrium, rooted yet open, stable yet relaxed. Translating this into the mind means approaching rest with the same qualities. The mind does not cling, does not collapse, does not drift without awareness. Instead, it rests upright in clarity, even while the body reclines. This state transforms lying down from passive collapse into conscious renewal. Sleep approached in this way carries the clarity of practice into the unconscious, shaping dreams and mornings alike. One key principle of the lotus posture is alignment. In sitting meditation, The spine is held straight, neither rigid nor slouched, allowing energy to flow freely. In the mind, alignment means resting thoughts in harmony with truth. Instead of twisting into regrets of the past or anxieties of the future, the mind aligns with the present. You anchor awareness in breath, body, or simple presence, creating mental steadiness. This alignment prevents the mind from scattering into endless loops as you drift toward sleep. It is not about forcing thoughtlessness, but about orienting thoughts toward balance. Another principle is relaxation without collapse. In the lotus position, muscles are engaged just enough to hold stability, yet not so tight as to strain. The same applies to mental posture. A mind too tense, clinging to control, demanding silence, cannot rest. A mind too loose, sinking into dullness or distraction, becomes foggy. The lotus posture of the mind holds awareness gently, like balancing a flame sheltered from the wind. This balance allows the body to release into sleep, while the mind carries the subtle fragrance of clarity. Focus is also part of this posture. In meditation, the gaze may rest softly, the attention steady. In bed, this translates into a chosen point of awareness. It could be the rhythm of breath, the feeling of the body settling, or even a simple phrase of kindness. This focus prevents the mind from being dragged by restless thoughts. Without it, lying down becomes wandering. With it, lying down becomes practice. The mind gently returns to the chosen anchor whenever it drifts, training itself in stability even as consciousness fades. Openness is another quality. In lotus posture, the body opens the chest, symbolizing receptivity. In the mind, openness means not fighting what arises. Thoughts, memories, and sensations may come, but you do not chase or reject them. You allow them to pass like clouds. This openness dissolves resistance, one of the main barriers to sleep. By not resisting, the mind rests naturally, flowing into stillness without struggle. The lotus posture of the mind also involves dignity. Even while lying down, you can hold a sense of inner nobility. This does not mean pride, but presence. You approach rest with respect, seeing it as sacred rather than careless. This dignity prevents sleep from becoming escape. Instead, it becomes renewal. When you treat lying down with the same reverence as sitting in meditation, the mind learns that every state, waking, resting, or dreaming, can be part of the path. Stability is another key. In meditation, stability means the body is unmoving, anchored. In bed, stability of the mind means not being pulled by constant shifts of thought and mood. You cultivate steadiness by returning again and again to presence. This stability creates a foundation. Just as a lotus grows rooted in mud but blossoms above water, the mind rooted in stability blossoms into peace, even in the shifting waters of dreams. Compassion can also be woven into this posture. Just as the lotus is a symbol of purity that rises above the murky water, the mind can rise above self-criticism and harshness. As you lie down, you hold yourself with kindness. Instead of condemning the day's mistakes, you acknowledge them and release them with care. This compassionate posture frees the mind from carrying guilt into sleep. It allows dreams to be shaped by kindness rather than judgment. The lotus posture of the mind also trains continuity. In meditation, the posture supports awareness that continues through the session. In bed, the posture of the mind supports awareness that continues even into sleep. This does not mean remaining awake, but allowing the qualities of stability, clarity, and kindness to infuse the unconscious. This continuity creates dreams that teach rather than disturb, and mornings that open with freshness rather than heaviness. The practice also reshapes the way you relate to the body in bed. Instead of treating the body as a tool to be discarded once it collapses, You remain mindful of its process of releasing. You notice the way muscles soften, the way breath slows, the way warmth spreads. This attention honors the body as part of the path. It also deepens the sense of connection between body and mind, creating harmony that carries into rest. One of the greatest obstacles to rest is the mind's habit of leaning forward, always anticipating tomorrow, planning, rehearsing. The lotus posture of the mind is upright, not leaning. It stays balanced in the present, neither pulled ahead nor falling back. Practicing this at night trains the mind to stop chasing. It learns to rest where it is. This uprightness of mind brings profound calm, because it is the opposite of anxiety's endless reaching. Applying meditation posture principles to mental states while lying down also transforms how you respond to interruption. Rest is rarely perfect. There are noises, discomforts, waking in the night. With the lotus posture of the mind, you meet interruptions with steadiness. Instead of reacting with irritation, you return to balance. This response itself is training. Over time, the mind becomes less reactive, not only at night but in daily life. The lotus posture of the mind also reminds you of interconnection. Just as the physical lotus grows in mud but blossoms in beauty, your mind rests in the ordinary conditions of daily life but can bloom into peace. Even in a noisy house or a restless body, the mind can choose its posture. This truth empowers you. You do not need perfect external conditions for rest. You need only to cultivate the qualities within. Ultimately, the lotus posture of the mind is about presence. It is the choice to bring the same mindfulness you practice in meditation into the ordinary act of lying down. It transforms rest into practice, sleep into preparation, and dreams into teachers. When the mind rests in balance, stability, openness, and compassion, every night becomes a continuation of the path. You do not abandon practice when you close your eyes. You carry it into the deepest layers of rest, letting it shape you from within. By approaching bed with the lotus posture of the mind, you make sleep not just unconscious recovery, but conscious practice. You align the mind with truth, hold it with compassion, balance effort with release, and let silence guide you. Over time, this posture becomes natural, a way of being that shapes both night and day. Rest then ceases to be ordinary. It becomes a sacred act where even lying down is an expression of the path to clarity and peace. Carrying the lotus posture of the mind into bed creates balance and steadiness. Yet there is still another layer of practice that clears the heart even more deeply. Stability alone is not enough if the mind continues to cling to the events of the day. What lingers often is not the body's tension, but the weight of memory, unfinished tasks, unresolved emotions, fleeting moments that press against consciousness. Here, the teaching of impermanence becomes medicine. To reflect each night on the truth that everything is temporary loosens the grip of worry and prepares the heart for rest. When you see clearly that nothing endures, even the heaviest burdens soften because you know they too will pass. Impermanence is not simply an abstract idea. It is the most obvious reality, yet the most often ignored. The day you just lived is already gone. The conversations, the laughter, the frustrations all dissolved into memory. To sit with this truth at night allows you to unclench the mind. You no longer carry today as though it will last forever. You recognize that each moment is already fading, and that recognition itself is release. This nightly contemplation reduces clutter because it cuts through the illusion of permanence that fuels anxiety. Reflection on impermanence at night can take many forms. One way is to gently review the day and acknowledge how quickly it passed. Morning became afternoon, afternoon became evening, and now it is gone. By holding this awareness, you stop clinging to what could have been different. The regrets lose weight when seen against the truth that they cannot be changed. Likewise, the joys are savored without grasping. because you know they too have already flowed downstream. This perspective makes the mind lighter, free from both bitterness and obsession. Impermanence also reveals that problems are not as fixed as they appear. The mind often exaggerates difficulties, holding them as if they are eternal. Yet no challenge remains unchanged. Nightly reflection reminds you of this. Whatever burden you carry, it is shifting even now. This knowledge brings relief, not by solving the problem, but by loosening the illusion that it is unmovable. Sleep becomes possible when you release the belief that you must resolve everything tonight. This practice also changes how you see success and failure. Many lie awake replaying mistakes or achievements, fearing judgment or craving validation. Reflection on impermanence dissolves both pride and shame. The praise you receive today will fade, the criticism will too. Neither defines you permanently. Both are temporary winds passing through. Recognizing this truth protects you from being trapped by the highs or crushed by the lows. You rest in the middle, knowing all experiences are fleeting. There is beauty in how impermanence transforms gratitude. When you realize the day is gone, you see its moments as gifts rather than entitlements. The smile of a stranger, the meal you ate, the breath you took, all were temporary, and because of that, precious. Gratitude arises naturally when you see the fragile nature of each experience. By reflecting in this way before bed, the mind turns from grasping to appreciation, softening into peace. Nightly contemplation of impermanence also prepares the mind for dreams. Thoughts carried into sleep often shape the night. If you carry attachment, dreams repeat clinging. If you carry resentment, dreams echo conflict. But when you reflect on impermanence, you release these chains. Dreams then become lighter, often dissolving entirely, leaving only rest. This practice purifies the unconscious by setting down what cannot be held, clearing space for the body and mind to renew. One method of reflection is to repeat a simple phrase such as, "This too will pass." Say it gently, not as dismissal but as recognition. Apply it to the events of the day, to your emotions, even to your own sense of self. You begin to see that nothing, not even your identity, is permanent. This loosens the grip of ego and prepares you for the surrender of sleep, which itself is a small rehearsal of impermanence. Another way is to observe physical changes. Notice how the body shifts from activity to stillness, from tension to relaxation, from wakefulness to sleep. Each state arises and passes naturally. This reflection anchors impermanence in direct experience. You no longer need theory, you see it in the living body. This awareness eases fear because you see that change itself is natural, continuous, and safe. Contemplating impermanence also softens relationships. Many carry the weight of unresolved interactions into the night, words left unsaid, conflicts unresolved. Reflection reveals that every relationship is changing moment by moment. The anger you feel now will not be the same tomorrow. The bond you cherish today will also shift. This truth encourages forgiveness and kindness because you realize that nothing is fixed. Holding on tightly only creates pain. Releasing into impermanence allows peace in the heart. Even if outer situations remain unsettled, the practice also dissolves the illusion of time scarcity. Many lie awake fearing there is not enough time, rushing to complete or control everything. But impermanence shows that life unfolds in moments, each one flowing into the next. You cannot stretch them, you cannot hold them. Seeing this, urgency softens. You rest, knowing that tomorrow brings new moments, just as today once did. Sleep becomes easier when you stop demanding permanence from time itself. There is a deeper spiritual dimension as well. In Buddhism, impermanence is one of the three marks of existence, alongside suffering and non-self. To reflect on it is to align with truth. Nightly contemplation of impermanence is not pessimism, it is liberation. By accepting that all things pass, you loosen the root of suffering, attachment. This acceptance transforms rest into practice. Sleep becomes not only physical recovery, but an expression of wisdom where the mind trains in the deepest truths even as the body lies still. Practical rituals support this reflection. Writing down the day's events and then closing the journal with the thought, "This day is finished," can be powerful. Lighting a candle and blowing it out with gratitude for what has passed is another way. Even something as simple as washing your face with awareness that you are cleansing not only the body but the day itself becomes a reflection of impermanence. These rituals mark the transition, teaching the mind to release. Over time, nightly reflection on impermanence changes the way you live by day. You stop taking moments for granted because you know they are fleeting. You stop holding grudges as tightly because you know emotions shift. You stop fearing loss so deeply because you see that change is the very fabric of life. This does not make you indifferent. It makes you alive. By practicing each night, you train the heart to embrace both joy and sorrow without clinging, resting in a peace that no change can disturb. To lie down with awareness of impermanence is to free yourself from the weight of permanence. You close the day not by carrying it but by honoring its passing. You let the mind rest in the truth that everything flows. Sleep then becomes not a struggle but a natural continuation of release. In the morning, you rise lighter, clearer, less burdened by yesterday. This is the gift of nightly reflection on impermanence. A mind unchained, a heart at ease, and a life lived in harmony with the truth that all things pass. Reflecting on impermanence before sleep clears away the heaviness of the day, but there is still a mystery often overlooked: the in-between. The moments just before you drift into sleep and those right after you wake carry a unique stillness. They are neither fully conscious nor entirely unconscious, neither day nor night, neither grasping nor releasing. These thresholds are sacred pauses, doorways where awareness can glimpse truths that are hidden during ordinary states of mind. To honor them is to treat transitions not as empty gaps but as spiritual opportunities, subtle openings where clarity and peace can take root. The pause before sleep is fragile but powerful. It is the last moment where you can consciously shape the quality of your rest. Thoughts and emotions here seep into the subconscious, coloring dreams and the state in which you awaken. Meeting this pause with care transforms the night. Instead of tumbling into sleep with scattered worries, you can enter with intention, allowing the mind to soften gently into silence. This is not control, it is awareness, a recognition that how you cross the threshold matters. The pause upon waking carries equal importance. Many rush past it, grabbing devices, rushing into routine, forgetting the quiet clarity that arises in those first breaths of the day. Yet in this space, the mind is still free from the full weight of identity and memory. It is open, receptive, and pliable. What you do in these first moments sets the tone for the day. Meeting the morning with gratitude, silence, or a simple breath of awareness can transform how you move through hours ahead. Buddhist teachings often describe these thresholds as fertile grounds for practice. Just as dawn and dusk are revered, time in nature, the transitions between waking and sleeping are revered times in the mind. The ordinary rush to skip past them is like ignoring the most delicate parts of a song. In these moments, awareness can expand without effort. You are neither holding tightly to the world nor fully surrendered to unconsciousness. It is a place of freedom, a doorway into deeper understanding. To honor these pauses, cultivate mindfulness in them. As you lie in bed, notice the shift from wakefulness to drowsiness. Feel the body becoming heavier, the breath slowing, the thoughts dissolving. Instead of resisting or rushing, simply rest in awareness of the process. This presence trains the mind to observe without clinging, a practice that mirrors meditation itself. Over time, you may even notice the exact moment consciousness slips, not as something to control, but as something to witness with reverence. Upon waking, do the same. Before moving, pause. Feel the body as it returns to alertness, the breath deepening, the mind reforming identity. Rest in the freshness of awareness before memory and planning flood in. This pause is a chance to reset patterns. Instead of beginning with stress or distraction, you begin with clarity and calm. Even a few breaths of mindful presence here ripple outward into the rest of the day. These sacred pauses are also doorways into understanding impermanence. Both transitions remind you that states of consciousness are not fixed. Wakefulness dissolves into sleep, sleep dissolves into wakefulness, just as life itself moves through constant change. By honoring the thresholds, you practice releasing attachment to any one state. You see more clearly that identity, thought, and experience are fluid, arising and passing like waves. This recognition reduces fear and strengthens acceptance. There is also a spiritual dimension to these transitions. Tibetan Buddhism teaches that the moment of death resembles the transition from waking to sleep, and the moment rebirth resembles the transition from sleep to waking. By practicing awareness in these nightly and daily thresholds, you prepare the mind to meet greater transitions with peace. Each pause becomes rehearsal, building familiarity with the art of letting go and the art of beginning anew. Practical rituals can help anchor this practice. Before sleep, repeat a phrase such as, "May I rest in peace and rise in clarity." Let it be the last imprint on the mind. Upon waking, begin with gratitude. Thank you for another day to live wisely. These simple phrases shape the mind's entry and exit, infusing both sleep and waking with intention. They are not rigid formulas, but gentle reminders that the transitions are sacred, worth attention and care. The body too benefits from honoring these pauses. Entering sleep with calm reduces tension in muscles, steadies the heartbeat, and supports deeper rest. Waking slowly allows the nervous system to shift smoothly from rest to activity, reducing stress and increasing resilience. By respecting the thresholds, you align with the natural rhythms of the body rather than forcing abrupt change. Silence is an ally here. Meeting both pauses without rushing into sound or distraction allows their depth to reveal itself. The mind, not bombarded by input, can settle more fully. Even a minute of silence before sleep and after waking creates space for peace to enter. This space is not wasted, it is where awareness expands. These pauses also offer opportunities for compassion. Before sleep, extend loving kindness to yourself and others, carrying